Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today for the information session. I'll give the floor to our speakers. It's Symbat, Saltanat and Munira. Please, ladies, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Aitana. My name is Saltanat, and I'm happy to welcome everyone who is joining us live today and whoever is going to watch the recording of this session to our information session for the Graduate School of Education applicants. So we are the students of MA in Multilingual Education program, as well as an alumni of the program. We are going to share with you our personal experiences of our studies, of how our education process was happening, studying this program. And basically, we are going to share a lot of our personal opinions and experiences. So Munira, first-year student, will start. Then as a second-year student, I will talk about my experience being a second-year student and what you do during your second-year studies. And Symbat will talk about her experience after graduating from this program. After that, we will welcome any questions. So, as you listen to this presentation, please feel free to write any questions or concerns or comments in the chat box, or you could also voice those questions at the end of the presentation. I would like to make one comment before we begin, that as I already have said, everything that we are going to share today are our personal opinions and experiences. So it doesn't mean that they are the opinion or position of NUGSE. So keep that in mind, please. So Munira, if you're ready, let's start.
Yes, thank you. So good evening, everybody joining to today's webinar. My name is Munira Vassilova, and I am a Master of Arts in Multilingual Education first-year student. I'm from Almaty, Kazakhstan, and in the year of 2021, I graduated from Al-Farabi Kazakh National University with a bachelor's in education in teaching 2 foreign languages, English and French. Today, I will be sharing my insights regarding the application process and my studies and my experiences as a first-year student. Next one, please. So first and foremost, I've decided to share the reasons why I have chosen MA at NUGSE. So first of all, I was interested in doing research in education. That is to say that back in my bachelor studies, I was mostly interested in pedagogy and teaching foreign languages. But after that, I've decided, well, maybe it will be good for me if I do some investigation in educational issues. And to do that, I've decided to learn best practices from foreign and domestic experts in the field. Through the English as a medium of instruction. That's why I have chosen Nazarbayev University, which is a research university here in Kazakhstan. One more reason for my choice is that I regard master's degree as a bridge to my future professional plans, which are becoming a course instructor and teaching at the university. Additional reason is the amount of scholarship, which is, by the way, one of the highest among Kazakhstani universities, and the absence of mandatory work after graduation, which is widely known as Atrabotka. And 2 more reasons are the NU community and NU facilities that, due to COVID-19 reasons and global pandemics, I have not enjoyed yet, but we're looking forward to it. Next one, please. Thank you. So first, here I would like to talk about the timeline and how the application process went in my case. So I have created a timeline and have highlighted all the important dates in order for it to be more useful for me. So in the year of 2021, the applications to NUGSE were open at the end of February. Personally, I have started my application at the beginning of March. It took me about 2 weeks to prepare all the documents in my portfolio. So I have submitted on the March the 15th, when the application deadline was April the 30th. Then in June, I have received a notification with the invitation to the interview, which was the second stage of the application. The actual interview was on the June the 9th, and the results of the interview were communicated to me on June the 18th. At that time, I have had 5 days either to accept or reject the offer. In my case, I have accepted the offer on June the 20th. But here is one warning that I'm going to say, which is that all of the dates that I am talking right now were relevant back in my case in the year of 2021. So please make sure to check the updated information on the official website and stick to the deadlines. During the preparation for this presentation, I have also consulted with my cohort members and group mates for them to share their tips, maybe some insights regarding the application process. And a good friend of mine, Aijan, has proposed to apply as early as possible and read everything available on the official website because it will enormously help to you. Okay. And the next step, and one of the important, let's say, things of the application portfolio was to write a motivational letter. Personally, I have uploaded and shared the analysis of my motivational letter on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested, here is the link. So you may watch it afterwards. And below, there are the tips from my group mates as well. So for instance, Alia says that you should feel free to praise yourself in your personal statement and stick to the outline, by which she means that there are some questions that you need to answer while writing your motivational letter, and write everything coming to mind and edit. Then let your English speaking friends to assess and to read your motivational letter because it will help. And Samal also gives a useful advice regarding the 2 reference letters that are also included in the application portfolio, which is select and inform your referees beforehand because it will provide them with the information needed because it will help. Okay, next one. And after you submit your portfolio, then you will be invited to the interview, which is the second stage of the application period. In my case, it lasted only for about 15 minutes and included 3 people. 2 of them were the professors, and one of them was a person from the administration committee. And here I've decided to share the questions that were asked from me during the interview and from my group mates as well. So the interview started with general questions like, tell us about yourself and why you have chosen this particular major at this university. Aizata Rusnandek also was asked the question about your future plans, like where do you see yourself in 5 years? Then if you have had some specific circumstances in your application portfolio, like having a gap year, let's say, for example, you will be asked what is the reason for you to having a 1-year break after graduation. Then the interviewers smoothly changed the topic to the specific questions from the field of multilingual education. And those questions will be asked from you, probably. So, for instance, what do you think about Latinization process of Kazakh alphabet, or what do you think about trilingual education policy? For instance, Tolkun also added the question, which Kazakhs do not speak Kazakh, or how can we maintain Kazakh language among young people? Or what is multilingual education, and do you know any theories, and what are your thoughts on schools with Uyghur, Uzbek, and Tajik languages of instruction? And below are some, again, tips for you. So except smiling and being confident in speaking during the interview, it is also important to doing your homework. And by doing your homework, I mean thoroughly and carefully looking at the website, because all the information needed is already presented there. You may look for the professor's name, for instance, or looking at the descriptions of specific courses that you're going to take as an MA student, because it will help you to formulate your thoughts and speak. Then the second one is, do not underestimate your experience, because it is valuable to share what you think about the issue. And even though, let's say you didn't have any experience of being a teacher or working at the education leadership team, but you was a student, as all of us have been. So you just may share your experience from the perspective of a student. Let's say, what do you think? Is it good for you to study biology in 3 languages, as an example? Or what do you think? How can you help to maintain the Kazakh language in the society? And the last one is to reread your motivation letter before interview, because I think from my experience, I could say that one of the purposes of conducting the interview is to check whether the perfect person and candidates described in your personal statement is a real person. Okay, and moving on to the next step. So, and the mission completed and you were accepted. So as it was in my case, then MA semester 1 started in August 2021. And as you can probably say from the pictures, it started with so much motivation, inspiration to study, and sparkling eyes, and so much courage to study. Then it turned out to be a bit difficult, as you can probably say, because there were so many assignments to do and inboxes and deadlines. But I'm not going to say that this experience was devastating to some extent. No, not at all, because the only thing that I was struggling with was that I didn't get used to such a study load here. But at the end, next slide, please. It finished like this, because at the end of the semester, I felt being a big brainy person who knows so much stuff about multilingual education and research. And MA for me is, very briefly speaking, because there is so much stuff that MA can give to you. The first one is critical thinking skills, because now I have learned how to look at the situation from completely different perspective. I've learned how to change and how to assess the situation rightly. So for instance, if before I thought that mixing languages and speaking Russian plus Kazakh and being Shala Kazakh, as it is widely known in our society and actually is not approved, what if mixing languages is not bad at all? Or the reasons why educational reforms fail and the others. Then the second takeaway is that I have discovered new information sources, and now I'm good at distinguishing good journals from bad journals. And I've learned that not every scientific paper you found on the website is actually a good one. And now I've also greatly improved my reading skills, because I can read 20 articles and 80+ pages just in one day. Can you imagine that? And I've also improved my writing academic writing skills, but I'm still working on it. And one more thing I enjoy and love about MA is the professors and the teaching staff, because besides of giving you the knowledge and sharing their thoughts, they can also give you life lessons in the phrases that then actually became such catchphrases. And here I've listed the 3 of them, the favorite ones. So the first one is, enjoy what you are becoming, do not suffer alone. And the last one, my personal favorite one, is remembering that there are no stupid questions. Okay, next one. And the best thing that MA gave for me, I think, is my cohort and my group mates, because there are like-minded, incredible and amazing people. And unfortunately, even though we didn't still have a chance to meet each other in person, we have had so many Zoom meetings and lessons, and we have communicated through the social websites. And the thing I love about this community and this place is that everybody is so supportive and everybody stands for each other and is sincerely eager to help and interested in you reaching your success. So this is definitely the best thing that maybe happened to me since I've become an MA first year student. And well, this brings me to the end of my part of the presentation. So if you are interested in education, languages, and research, think about the application to MA at NUGSE. If you still have some questions, let's say, or concerns, you may email me or subscribe to my Telegram channel, where I from time to time share my thoughts on the academic process and maybe share some life hacks. I will be more than happy to help. And thank you so much for joining for today's webinar and being here. I wish you all to receive the offer letter very soon. Thank you again so much. And now let me hand over to the second speaker, MA second year student, Saltanat.
Thank you, Munira, for walking us through your experience. Being the first year student in this program definitely brought me a lot of flashbacks. But now I'm going to share my experience being a second year student. My name is Saltanat. Here's my picture in front of the Graduate School of Education flag. Because I was on campus during the last semester. I was born and raised in Symbat. I hold the Bachelor degree of Arts in Education, which I obtained from Shukrim University in Symbat as well. And as I said, I'm currently a second year student in Multilingual Education program at NUGSE. And as you know, this program entails that second year students spend their second year writing their thesis. So I'm currently working on mine, which is titled Imagine Identities and Investments, Learning Kazakh in a Russian Medium School in Kazakhstan. And I'm really excited about my thesis. So let me share my experience of how I got into NUGSE. There are 3 simple steps. Well, first one is just like you are doing right now. You are attending this information session. I have also attended mine. I did that in the winter of 2020. And back then, no one knew how big the whole COVID thing would get. And in spring, it got huge. So this is when I applied for 2 NUGSE programs. That was the perfect timing, I know. But the 2 programs which I applied for, and I ended up receiving invitation letters for both programs in summer 2020. But as you can see, I chose multilingual education, and I'm going to tell you why. But in the meantime, I also want to say congratulations, because you are just making your first step to becoming an MA students at NUGSE by attending this information session. So why MA in multilingual education? Because before enrolling into this program, I obviously knew about the program only from the information that was put out on a website and from my friend who was also a student in this program. And because it's a full-time 2-year research-oriented program, and by full-time, it means that school would expect you to devote your whole time to studying and to becoming a researcher in education. And it's designed for people, who are educators, who are leaders of education, policymakers, and administrators in education as well. And here you can see some key areas of focus that this program includes. And some of them, as you can see, are obviously theories, policies, and practices of multilingual education. You'll spend a lot of time talking about education reform in Kazakhstan, trilingual education, and all of that. And I would like to specifically highlight the research skills that you are going to obtain after completing this program. So every time I'm asked about my experience being a student in this program, from day one and up to today, I think my answer never changes, because I always say that this experience is transformative one. And there are so many reasons why, and I think Munira has already highlighted how it has changed the way she thought previously and how she now thinks. It obviously changes the way you perceive information. It changes the way you look at education in Kazakhstan and languages and all of that. So I think transformative would be a good word to wrap up my whole experience so far. What is the second year has been like? So we were lucky to be on campus since the first year we studied completely online. So this fall semester, we were lucky to be welcomed on campus. And as you can see by some of these pictures, we were very happy to be on campus. But what is it really like in terms of the academic load? As I said, throughout the second year, you are expected to be working on your thesis. So let me bring you back to the end of your first year in this program. I think by the end of spring, during your second semester, you are expected to know your thesis topic. And when you transition from your first year to the second year, this summer is kind of the time where you want to read as much as you can about your research interest, about your potential thesis topic. And by the summer, you already know who your supervisor is. So during the summer, you are going to be working with your supervisor in order to, to kind of build your thesis, to shape it better. So when we start the second year, in October, we are supposed to submit our ethics proposal. This is the proposal that you submit in order to receive the approval to conduct your study, your research study. And this whole time, you're also expected to be writing your chapters for your thesis. And in the meantime, you are also expected to not be failing your coursework, because it's going to be ongoing. It's not like you will be given some time or a semester to work on your thesis separately. Throughout your 2 years of studies, you are going to be learning disciplines, you are going to be taking classes, because the coursework will be ongoing. And in November, which is your third term at NUGSE, ideally, you will receive your ethics approval, you'll be still writing your chapters, and by December, you're supposed to be starting your data collection and obviously taking some rest before your very last semester at this, with this program. So now I'm currently, I've just started my last semester being an MA student, and it looks like there'll be lots of writing of thesis, and this is the only thing that is basically on our minds these days, because we don't have that much time left. And in the meantime, our coursework is still happening, it's still going. We have 2 other classes that we are going to take this semester. So yeah, this semester, I think, is going to be mostly about writing your thesis, and you're expected to successfully submit your thesis by the end of May. But these are the dates for our cohort. I think by the time you are going to be in your second years, some things will change. So this is just my experience. Well, I mean, it looks like there's going to be a lot of thesis, and that's true. You're never going to be alone, because your thesis will always be there for you. And our professors like to joke about, having to choose a really good topic that you enjoy. It doesn't have to be super complicated. You don't have to reinvent the vehicle or bicycle. So basically, you need to have a good topic that you're going to be enjoying writing. And you will never be alone, because your supervisor, who's going to be incredibly inspiring, your supportive MA faculty, and obviously your colleagues, your group mates, they will be there for you, because you're going to be going through the same experience altogether. And what I have attained so far as a second-year student in multilingual education, as I've repeatedly highlighted, this is research skills. I do not come from a university. I mean, my bachelor's was not at the university that was, I would say, very strong in terms of developing research skills in their students. So definitely what I have obtained is, really good, solid research skills in education and human sciences. So I've noticed dramatic improvement in academic reading and writing. There are significant developments of my soft skills, because we communicate a lot. I've gained some more confidence in public speaking. I've also been lucky to be a part-time research assistant on a NUGSE project this past semester. And as I said, I'm lucky to work on my own research project, which is my master's thesis. I've gained new role models, and I've gained colleagues and professors who became my family. And this is not even a full list of everything you can achieve and obtain from being a student in this program. So that brings me to the end of my part of this presentation. Please feel free to contact me. I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions, whether it's going to be, application or my experience being the first year or second year student. And these are my contacts. And now I'm going to pass the word to Symbat, who is a graduate of this program.
Thank you, girls, for your presentation. I feel super nostalgic now for the good old days. And welcome everyone to our info session. My name is Symbat Mukhamediyeva, and I'm gonna briefly tell you about the insights that I have as a recent graduate of this program. First, let me briefly talk about my background. I was born and raised in Semey as well, graduated from Shakrim State University, majoring in education, and at the same time, I graduated from Gyeongsang National University, majoring in English language and literature. Right after I graduated from my bachelor studies, I was accepted to MA in Multilingual Education program in 2018. And and I graduated last year. So this is my thesis topic that I've been married to for a year. And okay, let me begin. So next slide, please. I would like to highlight how studying at multilingual education program contributed to my professional development, since I'm again, since I graduated not that long time ago, and I have fresh memories and insights. The first thing that I would like to highlight and emphasize is that in UGSC provided me with rich and deep knowledge in the fields of applied linguistics, language and education, language policy, and social linguistics. This wouldn't have been possible without our amazing professors. They are indeed the best professionals I've ever met, and I'm eternally grateful for every lecture, for every class, for every meeting that I have with them. They're great, actually. Yeah. Since this is a research-oriented program, as girls have already mentioned, you would have an opportunity to conduct your own study as a part of your second year thesis project, like that project. And I also had an exciting experience in research. I conducted my own research for my thesis. I had an opportunity to present at an international conference last fall. And this whole knowledge that I've gained is super helpful for me right now, because now I'm working as a full-time research assistant at NUGSE. What I can say is that NUGSE helped me build a solid foundation for a career in the field of multilingual education, multilingualism overall, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Next slide, please. But what I would like to say is that your studies are not going to be only about cramming, reading, and writing. It is also about people you meet, both professors and your peers. And I can surely say that this experience helped me to find lifelong friends and have an abundance of unforgettable memories. Here you can see my peers, my classmates who already graduated last year with me. We had an opportunity to study both offline at the beginning, and then we had to go online when the pandemic has hit. And we had lots of projects together, and here is a GIF from our first reunion since we went online. That was 6 months after we had to leave the campus. We had amazing Zoom lectures, Zoom meetings with my classmates to discuss different group projects, and overall the experience is amazing. And these people, like, I'm super grateful for the people that I've met throughout these 2 years of studying at the UGSC. Next slide, please. So as girls already mentioned, this is not going to be an easy path for you, but if you have fun, that's going to be all right. Because here you can see the first screenshot is how we were overwhelmed with all the deadlines, assignments that we had to do, the readings, the 80+ pages, as Munira mentioned. But as the second, like when you study, everything becomes all right. And by the time you start to be a second year student, working for 24 hours straight, writing right in front of your computer is not going to be a problem. Just if you have your coffee and laptop with you, like, oops, easy. So yeah, and again, next slide, please. This whole experience is going to be super fun for you, I'm sure, when you'll be accepted to the program. Again, I just decided to insert some memories from my student years as an MA at an MA program. Here you can see the pile of books that we had to read and use for our final papers and thesis, how we would stay up all night until 2, 3, 4 a.m. All together in a library room. And even when we went online, we, if you text in a group chat at 3 a.m., you'll absolutely find someone who is already suffering as you do. So nobody's going to suffer alone. We would celebrate different holidays together. And again, that was both online and offline. So it was indeed fun. There were many things. And here is GIF from the project that we had that was our first huge project where the whole NUGSE faculty would come and other students would come to see your presentation about about like speech communities and languages that they are using or that they are losing. So that's going to be fun. Next slide, please. And speaking about my insights and my life after graduation, I just want to say that indeed this knowledge that I've gained is super helpful. I am currently working as a full-time research assistant at the NUGSE. So right after I graduated, my thesis supervisor hired me as his research assistant, hired me and my classmate Sabina, who you can see on this picture as well. And basically what we're doing now is like a continuation of what we did as the second year students. We gain access to schools for conducting research. For the project that we're doing now, we travel around the country for conducting and translating interviews with Kazakhstani teachers and school administration. And we're also going to work with both international policymakers and experts in language policy from Kazakhstan and people who work in Ministry of Education to implement these different policies. We analyze data, we write literature reviews, we write papers. So this is not something that we don't know. What we do is indeed our hobby, is what we did as a students of multilingual education program. And on these pictures, you can see that we've already visited different cities like Karaganda and Almaty, and there are many more to come. So indeed, what I do for a living now is my hobby. I research, and I am absolutely happy for everything that this experience has brought me. Next slide, please. Also, my abstract was accepted to British Association for Applied Linguistics conference last year. So I had an opportunity to be a speaker there and present my thesis. Again, that was an amazing experience because there were scholars from all over the world, master, PhD students, or professors, and from different regalias. People have different regalias. And when I was presenting at the conference, I could see how people were interested not only in my study, but also in the context of Kazakhstan overall. So it means that whatever you are about to do as a first and second year student, that is going to contribute a lot to the development of research in our country. And when there were professionals from all over the world who asked me questions, both about my research and about Kazakhstan overall. And I could see how they considered me as a professional in the field. And actually that built up my confidence as well. So that was an amazing experience too. They even asked me if I have a paper published. So that's why, since I'm just only working on my own paper for an international journal. So I know that you just need to know that when you'll be a student of a multilingual education program, whatever you're going to do, it's going to make sense. It's going to contribute to development of education in our country. As a graduated student, so when you graduate, you're not gonna, lose touch with the university. You can become a member of a NUGSE Alumni Association. So that is what I did. So we keep in touch with all the other alumni, and we have reunions and different events that is being organized by the association. We also conduct interviews and webinars with our alumni who are either working like at great places, or are PhD students from at different universities from all over the world. Again, here you can see a screenshot of our latest interview with our multilingual education alumnus who is studying as a PhD student in University of British Columbia. We have all these webinars and interviews saved on our Instagram page, so you can see it here. Follow us on Instagram, and yeah, you can watch all these recorded interviews there. I'm sure that this all is going to be very useful for you too. Next slide, please. When I was preparing this presentation, I decided to talk to my classmates and ask them what do they think about the program, what it gave them, like what outcome they had from the studies. So here's just what my classmate said. My classmate Inara, who is working as an English instructor at KSGU here in Astana, said that the program expanded her range of interest and knowledge, and most importantly, that she had determined her goals for the future, and now she's just doing her best to achieve them. My classmate Alten, who is also working at BIL Lyceum in Atrau, said that this program helped her realize the importance of every single language on this planet. My classmate Amina, who is now a manager, a senior manager at Astana Hub, said that these 2 years of intensive writing and researching were super transformative for her. And as a concluding thought, I'd like to share this quote of Amina. She said that if you want to contribute to the development of education and research, to become a respectable educational practitioner or a respectable professional in the field of education overall, this program is right for you. So that's it. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me both via email or WhatsApp. Good luck to you, and I'm sure you're going to succeed in that you're going to succeed and everything is going to be great. I believe in you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Saltanat, Munira, and Symbat. I will stop sharing the screen now, and the floor is open for any question that would like to ask from me maybe, or from our students and alumni of the program. Please use this as opportunity. Dear participants, do you have any question to our speakers of today's session or about the program? Okay, I see no questions. It means you've explained it everything in detail, and everything is like, describe it very well. Maybe your last final words to our future students and current alumni who current applicants who would like to apply for MA program. Maybe we'll start with you, Munira.
Извините,
Yes,
я хотела
and
вопрос задать или уже поздно?
Нет, не поздно. Прошу, пожалуйста, задавайте.
У меня вот вообще вопрос такой. Я только узнала об этой программе. И вкратце, получается, на чему обучают? Именно методики? То есть мы можем работать как методисты, да? Или что это вообще Multilingual Education?
Я могу рассказать, то есть смотрите, когда вы поступаете на эту программу, вы знаете, что вы поступаете в школу, высшая школа образования, да, то есть это высшая школа образования Назарбаев университета, то есть подразумевает, что у вас, наверное, есть какой-то опыт уже в образовании, либо вы учитель, либо у вас нет такого опыта, и вы хотите именно исследовать образование, вы должны помнить, что эта программа, она фокусируется на очень многих таких отраслях образования. Но в основном, основной фокус, я бы сказала, как я поняла для себя, это, конечно же, улучшение ваших исследовательских навыков. Но это не значит, что вы не будете говорить о преподавании, не значит, что вы не будете говорить о методиках. То есть все это будет включено в программу, но при этом оба года, вот эта двухгодичная полная программа, вы будете учиться также методом исследования. То есть потому что второй курс вы проведете именно за работой над своим личным исследованием, которое вы потом презентуете. То есть это вот будет ваша финальная работа вашего обучения. И Айдана, наверное, добавит более организованную информацию.
Да, если быть конкретнее, то данная программа не будет учить вас каким-то педагогическим навыкам, методам, да, которые вы, возможно, хотите изучать еще дальше и глубже, но она даст вам ряд элективных предметов, которые раскроют именно полиязычие в разных сторонах. И, возможно, если у вас основная цель – это изучать язык еще глубже, возможно, вы выберете себе тему как исследование и дальше сами будете изучать эту тему, и вы будете как основным пионером, да, в этой области, можно сказать. Аим, кем вы сейчас работаете?
Я, получается, студент 4-го курса, факультет иностранные языки. И у меня вообще сейчас, думала, 2 выбора. Либо Multilingual Education, либо International Relations. Только эти, получается, подходят по моей специальности.
Ну, смотрите, мы все втроем, мы выпускники этой же специальности. Мы все закончили 2 иностранных языка в разных университетах. И вы знаете, что как бы эта программа фокусируется именно на том, чтобы вас сделать учителем. Правильно? То есть это учитель английского языка и, допустим, учитель вот этого 2-го иностранного языка. Когда вы поступите на нашу программу, многие беседы, многие дискуссии, которые у вас будут во время разных предметов, они будут именно вокруг обучения. То есть вы будете в образовании полностью. Вы говорите про, допустим, International Relations, то есть это уже не образование, да, это уже чуть-чуть совсем
Я поняла, это
другая
другая
история.
уже.
Да, то есть если вы хотите именно как бы сделать вклад в развитие образования в Казахстане, в развитие исследования в образовании в Казахстане, то эта программа именно для вас. Вот.
И еще один вопрос. Меня интересует, там будут учить языки или нет? Как? Кроме английского, получается, есть в программе или это уже не входит, только английский?
Смотрите, программа сама на английском языке, то есть все предметы, которые у вас будут в этой программе, они на английском языке, кроме казахского, то есть у вас будет 1 курс казахского. Также все 4 семестра, которые вы будете обучаться в этой программе, у вас будет продолжаться английский язык, то есть это будет английский язык.
Нет, там будет еще один язык, допустим, немецкий я могу выбрать или у вас нет просто такого?
Но Назарбаев университет предоставляет участие в различных клубах, где вы можете учить разные языки. То есть есть клубы
Все,
с разными языками, да, и вы можете там учиться тоже.
Все поняла, спасибо. Теперь поняла. Вообще, что это означает Multilingual Education? Да, thank you.
You're welcome, Aim.
У Муниры у нас проблема с интернетом. Давайте тогда Saltanat и Symbat скажем наши финальные слова напутствия аппликантам, которые подают на программу Multilingual Education.
Okay, dear applicants, I really hope that Munira, our first-year student, will be able to welcome all of you next year, being first-year students in this program. I totally recommend this experience to all of you, as I've shared so many reasons and shown so many experiences that I've gained thanks to this program. So my wishes of best luck to you. Please believe in yourself. Please do not underestimate your experiences and your knowledge. And please feel free to contact all of us if you have any questions.
I would like to wish you luck as well. I'm sure you will do great. Just never be afraid of anything. Never underestimate yourselves. And again, you have all the contact information. This session is also going to be recorded and uploaded online. So you can rewatch it, and there you can find our emails and phone numbers. So good luck to you all. And I'm sure everything is going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you once again to our great speakers for today's session. You were the stars and actually the leaders of this session. So I wish you all the best. And I would like to remind you that the application for the multilingual education is still open. The deadline is February and April, depends on your nationality. So please stay tuned and apply for the program if you would like to be a GC student. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening for everyone.
Thank you, Aidana, as well.
Thank you.